Am I the a-hole for telling my wife her homophobic family cannot stay with us? My wife and I have been together for about 2.5 years. Her family is very conservative and homophobic, and have been so for entirely too long, in my opinion, when they have a gay daughter. This territory is nothing new to them. She came out to them when she was 18, and she is now 31. She has an ex-wife that she was married to for 8 years, and they have a son together. It is truly shocking how close-minded they still are to her lifestyle. They have always been pretty cold toward me. When we were dating, it was so obvious how differently her straight sisters in their straight relationships were treated. This has always bothered me, but they live about 3 hours away, so I am able to keep my distance and them out of my mind for the most part. My wife has accepted the way they are as just how it is, and she thinks it is worth just letting things be in order to keep any kind of relationship with them. This dynamic has always bothered me, but things really came to a head last fall when one of her sisters got married. Her entire family was so involved with every part of the process. It was obviously such a big deal, and they were all super excited. At the wedding, my fiancé at the time was a bridesmaid in the wedding party. I was sat with the rest of the family, who did not acknowledge me, talk to me, or interact with me at all the entire time. They truly acted as if they had no idea who I was. Meanwhile, they are fawning over their straight daughter and her marriage, while I am sitting there knowing I am planning to marry their gay daughter in the next few months. It made me really sad and angry. I drew a line. I told my fiancé at the time that the way they acted like I was a ghost was the last straw, and that if they want to act like I do not exist, they are also dead to me. Fast forward to now, we are married, eloped thanks to the scariness of this administration. My wife informs me that her dad and her stepmom want to come visit in a couple of weeks. They have never once visited us and are coming because my wife's son will be on spring break. Apparently, they are planning to stay with us too. I got upset and told my wife I do not want them in my house. I hate being disrespected when I have done nothing but try my best to be a part of the family and have just gotten rejected over and over again. I thought they would come around, but the dynamic was almost worse once we were engaged. I do not know what to do. There is no way my wife will tell them they cannot come, and she has never been willing to have a conversation with them about this. I just cannot imagine being forced to host them. Am I the a-hole? Edited to add, thank you, everyone, for the positive reinforcement and suggestions for how to navigate this tricky situation. Obviously, I knew this was an issue before we got married. Again, with the family distance and my love and commitment to her, this was not enough to not get married. I had told her my red line after her sister's wedding, which was that I would not be participating or traveling for family stuff unless something changed. So this planned visit without my input first was a bit of a shock. Since posting, I have told her that she either needs to finally have a conversation with them, ask them to stay in a hotel, or that I will leave for the weekend. After a long discussion, she has told me she will have the conversation. So here is hoping some progress is made. Am I the a-hole for feeding my daughter's softball team junk at our sleepover? I, 35-years-old female, have 3 children, all enrolled in extracurricular activities. My oldest daughter, who is 13, plays softball and has for years. I live in a smaller town, so I know the other girls' parents, and we are well acquainted. I even consider a few of them friends. We take turns having big sleepovers for the girls at our homes, and this weekend it was my daughter's turn. We had never discussed what we should and should not feed the girls, just allergies and such, so I did not think there were rules. My other child is also in sports, and I have never had complaints about this either. I have hosted these sleepovers before, just not this season yet, and there are a few newer moms on the team. Anyways, I had bought the girls pizza and breadsticks and had pink or regular lemonade offered for dinner. I also had a lot of snacks, mostly chips, but I did bake some brownies as well. The next morning, I had just got a lot of Dunkin' Donuts. It is 15 girls I am feeding, so I figured it was easiest because these types of things feed a lot of children. My children do not normally eat like this either. I just was excited for the first sleepover at our house this season. Anyways, I have gotten some complaints from the newer moms who have joined the group in our group chat, and they have said that I should not be loading their children up on sugar and junk food, and how their kids do not eat like that at home. I replied back that it was a sleepover. It was supposed to be a fun event for the girls, so what was the big deal? That offended them. They accused me of undermining their parenting and said their daughters would not be coming to my daughter's sleepovers anymore unless I decided to feed them better food. This caused an argument because, like I said, no one has ever mentioned what they feed the children at these sleepovers, and there were never any rules. I thought it was fair game. I then again said it was just fun food, it was a slumber party, and a few of the other parents agreed with me. A few hours later, that mother replied in the group chat that her daughter would no longer be coming to any events at my home, since I could not see that fun food was just a different word for junk. Then she called me a lousy mother for feeding children that junk, then left the group chat. Am I the a-hole? Has she hosted yet? What do the other moms that have been around the block serve when it is their turn? Am I the a-hole if I say no to letting my sister wear my wedding dress? I, a 34-year-old female, have a sister, a 37-year-old female, who just recently got engaged in February. My sister and I have never been close growing up, to the point where this summer we went no contact after another argument. My partner and I will have been married 3 years this August, and after my partner proposed, my sister messaged me saying she did not want to be involved in the wedding or even hear about wedding plans. Although hurtful, I complied. Now that she is getting married, she has begun to make contact again. Today, while talking to my mother, she mentioned that my sister had said she wants to wear my wedding veil. I told her that was okay, as long as I could give it to her with a box stating something borrowed, as I have already offered it to 2 other friends with upcoming weddings. Then my mother informs me that my sister and her partner are getting married the weekend of my and my partner's wedding anniversary, that they are booking the same photographer, that she wants her photos taken in the same location as mine, and then asked if my sister could wear my dress, which she would have to have fitted, so it would never be my dress again. I expressed to my mother I was not sure about using my dress and how I wanted to keep it. However, my father chimed in to the phone call saying I should just give it to her. Am I the a-hole if I say no? Too long did not read. My older sister plans to get married on my anniversary weekend, wear my dress and veil, and take pictures at the same location as I did. Am I the a-hole to say she cannot wear my dress? You are not the a-hole, and your sister's behavior is weird enough to make a Lifetime B-movie of the weak plot outline. However, my father chimed in to the phone call saying I should just give it to her. Let me guess, he went on to say to keep the peace. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's fiancé I am not her family? 2 nights ago, a 15-year-old female was eating dinner with my dad, 40-year-old male, and his fiancé, 41-year-old female, when we got into an argument. My dad and his fiancé have been together for a year, so I did not really know her well before she moved in. My father also never told me she would be moving in. My dad's fiancé and I dislike each other. She was raised Christian and expects me to go to church with them even though I am not religious. This is not really a problem anymore because I told my mother I did not want to go, but his fiancé still likes to make snarky comments about religion, like saying I cannot celebrate Christmas if I am not Christian. So I have been on edge with her. I really hate onions. My father and his fiancé know this, but they still decided to put a ton of onion in the dinner, so I had to pick onions out of my food. I was complaining about them making something with a ton of onion when they know I hate onions. The fiancé started talking about how in her family, whenever someone did not like something for dinner, they would have to make a different meal for themselves. I got really upset and told her that I was not her family, so that did not apply to me, and she started saying that when she and my dad got married, she would be my stepmom. I told her that did not make her my family, and then she started talking about if she and my dad ever had a child, which they will not because he already has a teenager, and she is over 40, that I would be her family. I told her I would not be interacting with that child, and then she stopped talking. Edit, added context. I was doing homework, so that is why I could not help out with dinner. It is usually all 3 of us, but I was busy, so it was just them. I really hate to say it, but my stepmom had my younger sisters, via in vitro fertilization, and her cousin donates eggs at 45. I was 19. Never say never, laugh out loud. That said, your stepmom needs to stay in her lane. While legally, yes, she will be your family, she does not supersede your dad or your mom. The step-parent always should defer to the biological parents. I am really sorry you are dealing with this. Have you spoken to your dad about this at all?